Hi everyone. In this section, I would like to discuss about the referencing in advanced Excel. So referencing is very important part of the Excel. We have three types of references in Excel. My first reference is relative reference. Relative reference means we are not freezing our cell reference. Okay. If I talk about the absolute reference, in absolute reference, we put the dollar symbol to freeze our reference. Mixed reference, in mixed reference, we can freeze the whether row or column. One part is freezed, another part is not freezed. It is also called partially freezed. So let's see the practical approach how referencing is very important part. So here I'm going to let you know how you can utilize the referencing. You can see here, try to understand this part. Here I have taken the reference of A4. A is column, 4 is a row. Here, this is a relative reference. Why we can say this is a relative reference? In relative reference, we do not put the dollar symbol to freeze our reference. Here I have taken only one cell reference. The A4 is a this cell reference. This cell reference is a A4. See here. In address bar, you can see A4. In A4, I have not put the dollar symbol to freeze our reference. If I'm not freezing our reference, that is a relative reference. If I'm freezing our reference like dollar symbol, I have put down the dollar symbol before the column. A is a column, so I am putting down dollar symbol before column, and same thing I have done for row. 4 is a row. I'm putting dollar symbol before the row, so I have freezed here row and column both. So this is a absolute reference. Mixed reference. You can see in mixed reference, in first part, I have freezed only column. But in second part, I have freezed only row. This is a mixed reference. Now, let's see the practical approach here. Suppose I have this data. So here I'm taking one data. So here I'm generating random data 100 to 99. And I have dragged in downside, Control D, Control C, paste special value. Now, what you have to do, you need to do sum here. In this cell, I want to sum of this value. So here, I will utilize the relative reference to sum our data sets. And here, I will utilize the absolute reference to freeze our cell reference here or range. So now I'm going to let you know relative reference first. So here I'm not freezing our reference, whatever reference I'm taking within the sum range. So I have taken the reference, bracket close, enter. Now, whenever you will drag in downside, your reference will move out. So see here, my cell reference is J1 to J16. This is a correct reference of the data. But if I talk about this cell reference here, my cell reference is J12 to J17. It means 87 is not included in our calculations. Why? Because my cell reference is taken J12 to J17, which is moved down. Okay, come down. I will take one more example. So see here in third cell reference 1, 2, 3. This is a third cell reference. So in this cell, I have taken J13 to J18. My reference is moving down. So because of non-freezing, my cell reference is moving whenever you are dragging the function in downside. Okay, so this is not correct output. Okay, now I want to take here some function, and here I will apply the absolute reference. Absolute reference means here I am freezing our reference through the F4 key. F4 key is used to freeze our reference. Bracket close, enter. Now, if I'm freezing our reference, this reference will not change if you are dragging your function in downside or you are dragging your function in right side. Your reference will be fixed. You can see here J11 to J16. Here I'm getting J11 to J16. My reference is not moving down. So that's why you are getting 331 is a sum of this data. So you can match your output through this status bar. Your reference is freezed here. But if I'm not freezing our reference and dragging in downside, your cell reference is moving down. It's leaving the data from upper side. That's why your data is not calculated correctly. Okay. So what is the shortcut to freeze our reference? My shortcut is whether you can press F4. Suppose here I'm taking reference of this one to this one. So here I'm taking average function. Now I want to take reference of this and I want to freeze it. So what shortcut I will press? I will press here F4 or function F4. This is a system specific. Maybe in your system will work only F4 to freeze your reference. Maybe another system you will have to press function F4 to freeze your reference. So make sure it's system specific to press the key F4 with function key or without function key. So here I have reached our reference to apply the average. Now enter. If I want to freeze only row or column, only mixed reference I want to apply here. So in this scenario, you need to apply. So here I'm taking sum. I'm taking reference of this data. I want to freeze here only column. So you will have to press F4 three times. 1, 2, 3. I have pressed F4 three times. Bracket close. My J column is fixed. Here J11 to J16. Here my J column is fixed. But row is not fixed. So you can see here I'm not putting dollar symbol before row. So in this scenario, whenever you will drag this function in downside, your data will not be same. So this is not correct reference. In this scenario, you have to freeze only row, not column. Column freezing is not mandatory. So you will have to apply here some function. If you are taking reference of this data, it's mandatory to freeze here row, not column. Bracket column, bracket close, then enter. Now, whenever you will drag in downside, you will get same result. But whenever you will drag in right side, you will not get correct result. You can see here, this is a completely strange result. Why? You can see K11 to K16. K11 to K16, what is the data? This data. You are getting sum of this data, K11 to K16. Okay, this is not correct result. I want to calculate only this data. So why I'm freezing here? Why I'm dragging in right side? So if you are freezing your reference in row, at that time you can drag your function in downside. It will not impact your calculation. But if I'm freezing column, at that time you can drag your function in right side, cell reference in right side. At that time your output will be perfect. Okay, so I will discuss about the referencing part in next section also, whenever I will apply lot of advanced function. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.